And thank you as we celebrate the 25th anniversary of the Americans for Disabilities Act. I grew up in Southwest Virginia, and I went to K through 12 with the individualized education plan, IEP. And I grew up with multiple disabilities, including a learning disability. And in high school, an advocate that was supposed to help us figure out what we would do after we graduate suggested that, maybe I become a truck driver. And it's a much needed, respected career. But the notion that I might go to college was not feasible in her eyes. I was not encouraged to go to college. I wanted to take AP English. I was discouraged against it. I worked extremely hard, achieving less or the same amount as other students. But I decided to work even harder and study in the summer and take extra classes. I took AP English and received an A, took the ACT writing score, got 97 percentile, went to college at Mary Baldwin and graduated cum laude. And I was invigorated by learning. I had that passion, and sometimes it was difficult. I wanted to give up, but I vowed to use my life to volunteer and help others who are struggling and lift them up too, and work together with our community. And so one day, I ended up working at Woodrow Wilson Rehabilitation Center. And I also worked at Western State Psychiatric Hospital and volunteered at Liberty Point Group Home. Liberty Point Group Home is for young men ages 12 through 22 with developmental disabilities, intellectual disabilities, and behavioral issues. I tutored math and English. And I looked at the classrooms, and there was a lot of distraction. Things just could have been done a little bit better. So I suggested to the board some different measures that they could implement for behavior of the classrooms. And they looked at me and said, we're building a new school, we're going to try it. And suddenly the students were able to learn better. Their grades, they were passing. And they said, how did you have this insight to know what we could do? And I said, it's easy. I grew up in the same classes. I was in special education classes. At Woodrow Wilson Rehabilitation Center, I taught the arts. And there was a young man who wanted to dance for the talent show. And the staff said, cut his song in half. It's going to be very difficult for him to memorize the piece. Just cut it in half. And I said, absolutely not, because it's about learning how to learn. And so he learned the entire dance, and on that opening night, he got every step with every word, and his eyes lit up, and the audience were so glad to see it. And they said, how did he do it? And I said, it's easy. We all have the ability. We all have it. At Western State Psychiatric Hospital, I worked with individuals with psychiatric issues. I'm also on the board for volunteer services for the hospital. After graduating, I also want to say that with my involvement in Staunton, we have the Virginia School of the Deaf and Blind. And I wanted to run for House of Delegates, but I also wanted to be able to speak to all members of the community. So I learned 3 years of sign language so I could speak to everyone. And so I think it's important that even, just to reach out to folks, to speak, so everyone can have a voice. When I was 21 years old, I ran for Virginia House of Delegates. And at 23, I was the field director for a congressional campaign up in the 10th District. And at 24 years old, I was elected to the Staunton City School Board, which I currently am on the seat for. I'm also, thank you. Thank you. I also am the chairwoman for the Social Services Advisory Board for Staunton, Augusta, Waynesboro. I'm a member of the Democratic Party Virginia Disability Caucus and Young Democrats Virginia Disability Caucus, and was the past president of our caucus. And I just want to say that we need to talk to everyone. In this room, we know we are sticking up for everyone, and I'm so excited to see folks from all over Virginia. And thank you for those who are advocating for the issues we care about. And we need more of us to run for office. We need more of us to be in leadership. And I thank you for the candidates who are running and for those who are in office who have passed such great legislation. I'm someone with a disability, but I have an ability. I have learned how to learn, and I have learned how to teach, advocate, and to help others. Everyone deserves a chance, and we can fight and fight for fairness and lead. And I thank you for all advocates for your help, and I encourage more from our community to stand up and fight, because we are strong, we are smart, and we will fight for equality. So thank you again so much.